Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Guile here, and welcome back to the Forge Delights Forever promotional series. It's 1v1 ladder action this afternoon, going down on the quintessential open palms, and how wonderful it is to return to the human manicured maps of the past. I know we see a lot of map gem maps, and the map gem is fantastic, of course, but it's something nice about these old maps, something nostalgic, going all the way back to the GPG days. This is one of the ye old original 1v1 classics, although of course there are 3v3 versions. You can have an extra starting point here and here. But anyway, I digress. It's going to be more or less pro level. One person today you will certainly recognize from many a Guile cast in the past. And the other, well, you'll recognise his namesake at least. We'll give these guys some time and allow them to gate in, and we'll make our introduction. Starting up here at the top left in the blue corner, it's Electrician going UEF. How terribly sensible, opening first land. There he is. And over here is opponent down here in the bottom right, also going UEF, so it's a UEF mirror matchup, which of course means I'll be slathering myself in margarine and eating tiramisu with a long spoon as soon as this is over. And he is Geralt of Rivia. There it is, the Geralt of Rivia. I wonder whether this will be book or game Geralt, or whether this will be Netflix adaptation Geralt, where he's allowed the women to take over. We will see upon the outcome at the end of the game. A nice little bit of, look, I always love that. You see it much more in ladders than you see it in, or at least solo ladders than you see it in the team games. Good luck, have fun, you two. So nice little bit. Good player respect. Well done, you two. Always good. Let's go to split screen so you can examine their glorious openings and pretend that they're yours. You like to snipe other people's build orders. I know what you're all about. I can see it in your face. So Electrician going first land, and then going 2 P-Gens, 1 Mass Extractor, then 3 T1 P-Gens, and the... 1 T1 P-Gens, the other core mass, 2 more P-Gens, and then the land factory. Geralt of Rivia keeping it real simple, just going land factory, 1 T1 P-Gens, all the core mass, and then he's going to leave and help engineer number 1 with the constructions, which are going on at the hydro a little bit further out here, and he's going, I'm guessing, so what have we got? Boom, and then 2 more P-Gens, air factory, another P-Gen, 2 land factories. Anything queued up over here for Electrician? No, it does not seem, but we've got our first little altercation. It's going down in the center, and it's going down between 2 groups of 2 mech marines apiece, and it's gone very bad for Geralt. Both of mech marines are down. Nice work from Electrician. And I don't know if that was intentional, or even if you saw that there, but the first mech marine took the brunt of the initial engagements, down to 4 hit points, and then he managed to sneak it in behind the second so that he can keep it alive for a little longer. I don't know if that was intentional, Micro, or just the way the pathfinding worked out, but if it was intentional, well done to you, Mr. Electrician, who incidentally is the favourite to win this, we should say. He's at 1676 versus Geralt, who is at 1486. This is, of course, the ladder rankings, but I checked their global, and they're pretty much the same. Not too much difference there, so we can take these as read. So it's Electricians, at least on paper, to lose. We will see how it works out. The 2 mech marines coming towards the main base. They're going to run into a striker on the left-hand side, which is going to win. And over here, this one of 4 HP wisely bows out of a potential encounter against the ACU. That was never going to go too well. An early T1 bomber out from Geralt. Where is that headed? That's headed all the way out over here. Doesn't have a target yet, but there's a little engineer that's ripe for the plucking. Will it get plucked? Like best looking blonde at the high school dance? Yes! I don't know where I was going with that. Family show, Guile. T1 bomber has found his victim. Can he get the payload away? Yes, he will. Scratch 1 engineer to the left of the Nook. Mech Marine on 4 HP discovers an engineer. 1 quick reclaim order would finish that off. Oh my word. I thought he got away with it there again with must have been a hit point or 2. Looked like he was about to stroll out of range, but no. That little mech marine, which is now regenning nicely with 1 hit point a second regen after getting his first rank of vet. So he might make a bit of a nuisance out of himself as he transfers his position down to the bottom right hand corner. There's 3 mexes to grab there, of course. So who's fared better in the opening stages so far? Well, Geralt is up 21 to 17 mass per tick. He's down overall, so Reclaim will probably tell a different story because the Electrician's bagged 700, Geralt's on 360. The mass distribution, because we didn't look at it earlier on Open Palms, is pretty even and pretty liberal all over the place. Big net wins up on the corner plateaus, which no one has made a rush for as yet, but I'm sure they will get to it. Geralt has gone to the right-hand side with his ACU, and Electrician has gone to the left. This is pretty typical, actually, on Open Palms. ACUs pick opposite sides, and the south one does tend to drift towards the right. I mean, I can't see if there's any, or say that there's any major difference, because the distribution, I think, for mechs placement, mass point placement is exactly identical on both sides. So, but it does seem to work out this way. I don't know why. ACU on the south drifts to the right, and the one on the top drifts to the left, and their spam predominantly will drift in the opposite direction to defend the other flank. What have we got out here? So plane-wise, we already saw that T1 bomber from Geralt bagging a kill early doors. We've got 3 inties on the field, 1 intie on the field there for Electrician, but no bombers for them to actually go after anyway, so not a major factor as yet. Electrician expanding out with his comm down to the bottom left, bagging the mass extractors first, and then looking to get himself a second land factory. Has already plonked one down over here. This mech's having taken some damage. And if you're new to the game and wondering what these little things are here, these are adjacency bonuses. Plonk a factory down next to a mass extractor and you'll get a discount on everything you build. So that's why, or everything you build at least from that factory. So that's why they do it, and that's what those little wires mean. Learn something new every day, if you're new and don't know the basics. If you're a pro, you're not going to learn anything from Guile. We'll just take that as read. Nice little run by here. Bags that badly damaged mechs we were speaking about just a moment ago, and now putting some damage down on the land factory. Unfortunately, no Lobos in this unit comp, so they're going to have to tickle away at any of these structures that they get into range of. No large damage artillery shells coming to the rescue, and this little reinforcement group coming down from the north is going to cut them off. There's not really anything they can do about that. But what have we got down here? Electrician getting aggressive with his comm. No upgrades yet. We've got no gun, no T2, but it is early doors. We're inside 10 minutes on Open Palms. It takes a little while for things to get going, so you can probably feel reasonably safe. It's where often things go wrong, though. A whole horde of T1 bombers that they didn't see come out of nowhere, and that ends the game real quick. You know, I wouldn't pick a game like that to showcase on the channel, not even a little bit. Electrician bags a couple of engineers which were trying to work on a T1 point defense, shutting down fortification of this area. Needs to be a little bit careful. Unit numbers starting to increase down here for Geralt, and I think he senses that. So he is going to back off slightly. He has got reinforcements inbound. They are going to take point on this. Might leave him open to taking out this position down here. How's the eco looking now, as we've got a nice little run by up to the top right from Geralt. This position very lightly defended from Electrician. All of the forces coming to join the commander down here. He's looking to push on the left flank pretty hard right now, Electrician. As a result, the right flank barely defended, and Geralt of Rivia making some gains here with a very measly 3 tanks. Engineers do manage to complete the land factory, but they're going to get killed for their trouble. Now, who's going to win this exchange? Well, it looks like that's going Geralt's way as well. Look at the mass difference. Is Electrician power locked? Yes, he is. And through no fault of Geralt's, by the looks of things. That is just bad management in general. It is tough to build enough T1 power sometimes to keep your power balance positive. But as a result, he is pulling in way less mass than he should do. It's 54 to 39. Needs to get that power situation sorted ASAP. T1 bomber with 4 kills to its name, picking off another mechs. some way to alleviate the advantage that Geralt finds himself in. Inbound courier with 4 units of build capacity. Is this our first attempt at a grab for one of the corner, bottom left or top right corner positions? It certainly looks like it. That's where the transport is going. And that aggressively placed land factory is going to get pulled apart by a million paper cuts. There it goes. No more tank production for you, sir. And Geralt pulling his comm from the east. I'm guessing he's sensing like there's not that much going on over here. Maybe I can make a push over on this left-hand side. We have T2 land tech for Geralt now, inside 10 minutes, and he's producing pillars already. Do we have T2 land for Electrician as well? Yes, we do. So both of these guys pretty much neck and neck on their tech decisions. We have one T2 engineer inbound. I say neck and neck. Look at that. We've already got 4 pillars moving out for Geralt. So I think Geralt might have had his up and running for just a little bit longer. T2 reactor online for Geralt. He's got enough power to be getting on with Electrician. Still suffering brownouts by the looks of things. Yet to get his first fusion reactor up and running. Mexes over in the east, now taken out by Electrician, who's happy to respond to the aggression Geralt inflicted on him a few moments ago. This is where the real battle is taking place, and Geralt has the advantage with little contingent of T2 tanks. We've got 2 units of operational T1 point defense and a 3rd under construction, all protecting approaches to this hydro, which Electrician really doesn't want to lose considering the power troubles he's been having. So you can see why he's keen to defend it. Bunch of tanks on that central plateau for Geralt, defending that little pass that leads up and down it. And the presence of 3 pillars enough to manage that position for the time being. Geralt really needs to get some more troops and more forces over here though. But he's not doing too badly on paper. Look at this. He's up 10 mass, 9-10 mass. And look at the kill-loss ratio. It's 1.4 versus 0.7. This is fantastic stuff so far. Answers in the comments section. Who is going to emerge victorious? Don't wait. Do it now. Let's not have any clever Joes out there. Thank you very much. Pretending you are smarter than you are. And while you're down there, smash ye old like button if you would be so good, madam. That subscribe if you haven't already. Well, I can't imagine why you wouldn't have. Geralt of Rivia, we see what he was producing. So he's starting Tech 2. Lost the tooltip, but he's very nearly done. It's about 95% complete on that upgrade. This is quite a heavily reinforced position he's going after, and in fact he's backing up away. We've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 units of T1 PD, soon to be 5. A operational, or maybe 6 actually, I'm counting that one. An operational triad, another one that's partially constructed, which I'm sure will be finished. But Geralt's really struggling to protect this right flank, and there's no reason for it. He's got the forces in the area. He's set up shop nicely on the bottom left, and Electrician has taken the top right. Both of these corners, though, have gone uncontested. One mass point still yet to be built on. Finally, that gets a build order. And finally, Electrician pulls ahead of Geralt, although just barely. But he's down about 6 or 7k mass. the tune of the game somewhat. 7.6k to 4.7. Quick airdrop of engineers over to this position. That will get all these mexes up and running in no time. Once he's grabbed these, he should be back on top in terms of mass production, I would imagine. But Electrician does not like the presence of this fire base. Geralt working on a land factory to help secure it, but in comes a few forces just to try and take some of these point defense down. He's lost a couple of them. But he's determined not to yield the position. There's no real reason for him to. He should get some of his spam involved though. If he just plonks his spam up here, what's the... So he can get his spam up to this point without incurring the wrath of that triad, although there's a second one online now. That would help defend some of these point defense which are taking a royal beating. Geralt determined to hold on though. Time one triad is destroyed, he starts work on another. I like the inclusion of some mobile missile launchers. He can keep that safe, he can carry on tickling away at these defenses. There's no tactical missile defense in place to shoot those missiles down. Lovely little run by to the top right hand corner, and that's put Geralt ahead again on eco 74 to 62 as he rebuilds in these positions over in the east. This looks intensely vulnerable up here. Just send a few more pillars to help lock this down. An Electrician could be shut out of this game for good. Really struggling at the moment, Electrician, to defend both of these flanks. 52k to 43k, 1.26 to 0.79 kill loss ratio in favor of Geralt still. Increasingly more like we are dealing with book and game Geralt. Please say it is so. Not that I'm rooting for any one side, of course. Everyone likes an underdog. But I'm entirely impartial overall. Handful of interceptors fly over. That little contingent of pillars that has raided this position in the northeast carries on into the backfield, but finds himself taking fire from this plasma cannon. Now we've got a bit of a drifting of some of these units, and it's drawing Geralt's forces en masse. I don't think he needs to distribute quite so many forces over here. That's a very saucy flapjack. Look at that, far too much treacle in that one. Now it's getting some counter Lobo fire. I love these little minor individual skirmishes that are taking place. But having dealt with most of the threat that was drifting this way in the center, Geralt's going to reapply pressure back towards this western flank. However, there are forces pushing again over here on the east. What we've got here is a transport full of Lobos. Where is that going? That's going right around the houses, and that's coming in for an aggressive drop right into the back of Geralt's base. And that could be very vulnerable. And these core mass, these are all at T2. Definitely doesn't want to lose those, all except for this one. This is all very much undefended, and a nice little run by just straight into the front, because Geralt is firmly fixed on Electrician over here, and I think he's made another mistake. He's got enough pillars in the area. Electrician down to 4,000 hit points. Geralt focusing in on all of the units of point defense when he should have just gone after the comm. I think he would have got a comm kill there. But now we've got T1 and T2 units inside the shield and in fact taking it down to the main base. And we've got a drop right into the back of the nook here, which is going to threaten the T2 mexes. At current reading, Geralt of Rivia is at 85 mass per tick, but he's about to lose at least one or two, I think, of these mass extractors. There go the first volleys from the Lobo. The units that came in through the front door have taken down one of the fusion reactors, about to hit the second. Bosh! Geralt of Rivia's power now gone. He's power locked on top of it. And on top of that, he is about to lose these all-important rear mexes. This has been a fantastic passage of play. And to boot, Electrician has wrecked the mass extractors over here in the east. I spoke too soon. This is definitely Netflix, Geralt. The kind that needs creative differences to go on and do a real project. I mean, I'm slagging it off. I did actually enjoy the first two intensely. Big fan of Cavill. Was gutted when he left, but completely understands why he left. Just wish these guys would make every effort and redo these shows and things to stick to the source material. Half the time, they've always got writers in, it seems, who aren't remotely passionate about the original story. But anyway, that's my little rant, my little segue back to the game. Geralt now forced to build power up front just to try and recover this. But, ugh, look at the absolute state of it. He's now down to 18 mass per tick, minus 600 power net. He's going to get a recovery once this goes online, but he's still going to be behind. And look at the situation that's brewing now over here in the east. A completely undefended flank for Geralt. And it wouldn't have mattered as well. None of this, I don't think, would have mattered if he'd have just gone for the comm. I think he would have got the comm kill. He had so many pillars in this force, but he was playing conservative, and it wouldn't pay off in that particular situation. Huge numbers of engineers trying to bring in income in any way they can. Geralt's up to about 22k on reclaim now versus the 10k from Electrician, and he's still up by a decent margin on that front. 82k versus 66, but there's no substitute for generated eco, and he's now down, but actually not down by as much as I thought he would be, and he's got a half a bar of mass. It's not over yet. 21 minutes gone. A lovely play by Electrician. Geralt's still fighting this one, but this is ominous. Look at that firepower on the right flank. He's transitioned to T3 land. And is he churning out Titans? Yes, he is. Could do with some of those staying at home. You've got a problem coming in from the northeast. Do you have the... Oh, he's got a complete dead zone in terms of intel. He probably doesn't know that that's coming. Up it goes, and suddenly he's like, oh, I should have kept that. Should have kept that Titan at home. And now we're going to get a redirect of some of those forces. But these guys are knocking on the front door. What's happening over here? The battle rages on, and we are getting a bit of a point defense creep into this position. Electrician, of course, still unupgraded, doesn't have the build capacity on his comm to match that of Geralt, but the problem is there's another assault on his main base once again. Engineers have hurriedly thrown down a point defense, the Titan fighting valiantly, and I think they'll be able to sort this. Engineer for Electrician could do a lot worse than to start working on some defenses now that he's got control of these mexes. Electrician's still light on forces, but he's massively up on eco. 107 versus 25. He must be power locked again. No, he's not. So Geralt, oh, and he's lost the mexes at the bottom right hand corner as well. He's just losing. And look. Just look at redundant mass points everywhere. Geralt down and out on eco. This is not going brilliantly for him. Electrician played a very canny game. Held on. And then with the beautifully executed drop and push right into the main base. Wondering if his real flaw here for Geralt was just the lack of intel. Look at the comprehensive intel on this side of the map from Electrician. He can see everything that's going on. Geralt with a massive blind spot still on this side of the field. supplementing at the moment with that scout plane. Now Titans joining the fray over here. If they were Percivals, they'd have enough punching power maybe to break this position, but Electrician is not playing, man. He's not messing around. He is just spamming up defenses everywhere, determined to hold this position. Little run-by attempt, skirting the raised cliff edges of this bottom left-hand corner. Nice little drop to the bottom left-hand corner. A couple of pillars. Need a move order to make sure that they actually connect with their target, though, as the hill edge gets in the way, obscuring those shots. Geralt pulling in 53 mass per take. Electrician now pulling in 119. And not spending his mass. Floating a huge amount. We have T3 land capabilities. He's churning out T3 engineers for the time being. Another little push through the center. Pillars up front. Lobos in the back. Bernard up front with 30 hit points. That's going to go badly. Sorry, not pillars up front at all. Riptides. Going for a little bit more speed. I generally wouldn't bother with Riptides personally, unless I was on a heavy water map and I needed the mobility. Geralt going to lose the bottom left-hand corner now. We've had one drop, those pillars still functional. A second drop inbound with a bunch of Lobos to help finish off these structures. There are no ground forces, nothing's being produced out of this factory, so this bottom left-hand corner is going to flip. Electrician will be in control of both of those. He hasn't expended a huge amount of resources trying to defend this position. He's thrown down 2 T1 point defense. He's going to struggle to match combined T2 and T3 firepower. Geralt does have a nice little group of forces here in the center. Where is he planning to move with those? Well, he looks like he's making a move on the main base. Titans coming up across that central plateau now to join pillars on the other side. There's nothing defending the base in the center except for these 4 Riptides. One solo T1 bomber targeting some of these fusion reactors, but now we're starting to see Percival production underway. And those engineers, that's what they were for earlier, those T3 engineers, right to this base, getting to work on a Ravager, and that will shut this point defense creep right down. Not that it's even being progressed in any way, shape or form. Titans breaching into the main base now of Electrician. Geralt defending with the odd Percival. Another one's produced out back. He's going to lose one of his 2 reactors. What does that do to his power? Well, it cuts it down pretty severely, but he's still a net positive. This will hurt if he loses a second one, however. It's down to about 50% health. We have got point defense trying to defend. He is going to lose that. Electrician now going to be power locked. Cuts production massively to try and stave off disaster. Must not lose the third. Must hold on to that. There's still a lot of units in this base. Can Geralt turn this game around once again? He does manage to pick off that reactor. And now Electrician going to be power locked. This is a devastating attack on the main base, which admittedly was largely undefended. These forces just came running through the front door. But this position down here now looking like it's going to fall to pieces. We've got one Clink Hammer online, a second one online. Electrician basically transferring to this base. This is now his main base. The Nook is well and truly gone. This was a nice attack by Geralt. He's just bypassing this little position for the moment. I personally would want to take that out. Geralt has left that left-hand side, brought his comm back to the nook. Still hasn't ousted these riptides in the backfield. I suppose it does make sense if you're trying to get deep and fast, getting a couple of riptides out into a position like this for a run-by. Not a terrible decision. So Geralt reclaims this 3 o'clock position. But he's still being outproduced eco-wise. 2-1 is the factor. Electrician right on the breadline in terms of power production. But he is keeping a stable power balance for now. Has 3 fusion reactors back up and running at this forward base. There is now a ton of defenses in here. Ravager, 6 triads, 8 plasma cannons, and a clink hammer or 2 for good measure. Once this position is down, mobility in this area will be achieved. Some forces coming out down here to defend, and another nice push up to this vulnerable position over here. I just can't believe this is a very bizarre game. Usually you see on Open Palms a much larger commitment from both players to try and defend both flanks. But this has been all about the pylons in one area, and they've just been allowing it to happen. T1 contingent in the backfield, defending those rear 3 mexes, all at T2, so Electrician wouldn't want to lose that. And that looks like the natural progression. He's going to lose this one. So that's going to be 4 T2 mexes potentially. But this is a large number, or a large quantity of Geralt's overall force, which he's committing to this raid. 31 minutes gone. 140k versus 126k in terms of total mass, favouring Electrician, who is now ahead in kill-loss ratio, 1.09 versus 0.89. T1 span that's defending that top left-hand corner is going to get eviscerated. Completely outmatched by T2 and T3 tech. Not really anything they can do about it. Just trying to whittle down some of the HP on these units. Again, Electrician having power issues. Is he trying to get a new reactor online? He has a 4th fusion reactor now, but he is focusing in on developing T3 mexes at his most heavily defended base. I feel like he's just going to load everything here and operate solely out of here with a few very high value mexes. He has, of course, got the corners. Geralt could make a play for these. They're not particularly well defended. You've got a few T1 units roaming around on patrol. Getting a drop in here might be tricky because of the amount of interceptors, although these are all bingo on fuel. You see them flashing away there. Drastically reduce their speed and maneuverability. What is this? So we've got a Demolisher Mobile T3 supplementing the static firepower of those T2 Clink Hammers. So conquest of the top left-hand corner complete. No build capacity sent with it, so he's not going to try and take it over. But despite that, the income for Electrician has barely dropped because he has bagged himself a T3 Mex up over here. He's barely noticing the demise of 4 T2 mexes. That's how much it scales. This is now a large, tidy force. combination T2 and T3 tech. Unfortunately, the T3 tech is mostly Titans. In fact, all Titans. I'm seeing no Percivals in this comp for Rivia. Can't really call Rivia. It's like calling Van Gogh Goth. Doesn't make sense. This is going to be raid number 2 on the Nook, I wonder. Engineers working on defences, trying to prevent it, but I think this is going to be a second wipe. There are mexes to grab up here at the top. Very strange game, this one. All over the place. Very mobile. The fact that we're producing Percivals out over here for Electrician fills me with concern for Geralt. And I don't know how, if he's trying to take this base, I don't know how he goes about it with the amount of defenses that are up. He might be able to take down the lion's share of them, but it will cost him his entire force. And all the while he's sitting in range of the artillery. His units are getting softened up. Geralt has bagged those core mass once again. It's extraordinary. So Electrician just moved here. He's placed all of his eggs in this basket. Does still hold the plateaus. And he holds this little position at the back, it's worth saying. Ooh, a nice little drop once again. Do we have any point defense? Oh, the railguns erected to defend against that eventuality somehow manage to shoot the transport down before it drops its forces. They were just about to offload. And there's 1 point defense there. But 1 volley probably would have taken care of that. And then it would have been dead mexes all over again. These Percivals, hero Percivals for Electrician, still fighting valiantly. And actually they have done immeasurable damage to what was a proud regiment for Geralt. It's now a pitiful shadow of its former self. Yeah, this isn't looking great. I mean, just look at the spread highlighted nicely on the mini-map. Very diminished sphere of influence for Geralt. Electrician all over the map, even behind Geralt. He effectively has him surrounded. And all Geralt seems to be doing at the moment is trying to stave off the inevitable, and that's hard to do when you're being outproduced 5-1 in terms of eco. 27 mass per tick for Geralt, and about 114 to 120 for Electrician, who is power locked. That's not even accurate representation of what he should be pulling in. Working on yet another reactor. We'll sort that out. Percivals look like they are about to finally finish off Geralt's Western army. We did have a Percival there for Geralt, but he's not got the eco to sustain production. Look at the rate of production. That is too slow, but that's what you get when you're pulling in 21 mass per tick, because you've been picked apart. Another big old drop, probably unlikely to go quite as deep now. He'll give those railguns a wider berth. Or not. Maybe he'll just go and do it again. Top one absorbing fire. Can he get them on the ground this time? Yes, he can. Oh, what was that? What was that? Was that one splash damage from that Percy? Just took out all 6 of those Lobos. Okay, GG. So much stress here. Weird game, says Electrician. Yes, it was a weird game. It really was. I can't remember another Open Palms like it, quite frankly. Admittedly, It's been a long while since we showcased an open palms, as we said at the beginning, so that might be something to do with it. But yeah, very unusual. MVP, let's face it was Electrician. Wonderful comeback. But Geralt did great work in the early game. It looked like he was going to pull a victory out the way it was going inside the first half. Considering he's giving up a couple of 100 ranking points to his opponent, well done there, sir. I guess it was Netflix Geralt after all. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you'd like to support me, best way to do that is to check out the Patreon. It's a mere $1 a month, and that will give you access to all the premium content casts. I think we've had some 94 or so far, and they're growing all the time. I try to get a new one out every week if I can. It'll also get you access to the Discord, where you can come and harass me in a more convenient way on a more regular basis. So, hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.